They couldn't even hear me. Sheesh. My bad, my bad. Wow. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Can you guys hear me now? Sheesh. Sheesh. All right, cool. Can you guys hear me now? All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going. Again, welcome to Crypto Cliff Notes. Like I was saying before, I had to fix the sound and everything like that. I apologize for everything. We're still in our beginning, right? We're just starting. Really getting this information out. Myself and Pat, someone that I've been doing it for 2 years. He's been doing it back since 2017, and it's the crypto world is getting so much bigger, right? It's getting so much bigger and so much information out there that a lot of people might come in this confused or scared, right? Because it's new information, right? It's new information, and you would just want to learn, maybe how to create passive income or more passive income or extra streams of income. This is a great one because the currency system that we're in is a fiat currency system, right? We're in a fiat currency system. So with that understanding, if we're in a fiat currency system, we got cash, we got change. Now everything is moving digital, right? Ever since our cars, right? We had taxis. Now we got Ubers and Lyfts. We click a button, it takes us right to our location with one click of a button. We had, DVDs back in the day. Everyone would go to Blockbuster. Now we can go on Amazon or we can go on, Hulu or Netflix, and we can just click a button, right? Get a subscription, and now we can watch it right on our laptops, phones, or TVs, right? So with that understanding, right, that trickles down to our money, right? Our money is now being digital, right? I can now send you PayPal. I can send it to you on Cash App. I can send it to you through, different forms of apps, right? Same thing with our currency, family, right? Digital currencies, cryptocurrencies is becoming so much larger with the technology, right? We're in an age of Aquarius, right? We're in an age of Aquarius, meaning technology is being enhanced so rapidly right now that sometimes that if you don't really get with this program, if you don't get with the technology, it's going to take over you. And you look at, these stores, right? They got robots, you got self-checkout. People are losing jobs because the robots are taking their jobs, right? It costs less, right? And they can't make excuses. Those robots can't make excuses. They do all the work literally from a computer, right? So with that understanding, family, with that understanding, right, with that and on understanding, right, there is a way that you can truly capitalize in this digital world, and that's through cryptocurrencies, right? And we're gonna, really dive deep. If you guys haven't subscribed, right, definitely go subscribe. We actually have a giveaway that we're doing, for the next, week, a couple weeks. I believe that, we'll be at 200. So, down below in the comments or in the description, there is Telegram, Instagram, and our YouTube, right? Once we get 200 subscribers in our Telegram, our Instagram, and our YouTube, we're going to be giving away a Ledger Nano S, right? And we're going to explain to you a little bit about that today and kind of briefly touch up on it. We do have a video on the last stream that we did touch, into that. But once you do all that, once you follow Instagram, you subscribe to YouTube, and you subscribe to our Telegram, you're gonna be able to take, you're gonna type DONE, right? Done in the Instagram post that I just recently posted not too long ago. You'll see the giveaway post on there. Once you're done, right, make sure you text done to that Instagram comment, and then you're good to go. And then once we have 200, then we're going to be giving that giveaway. So make sure you guys, send this link, send this YouTube channel out to your friends, your family members, anybody that's interested in listening or hearing more about cryptocurrencies. This is the channel to go to, family. We've been calling out, coins that are going 80%. Now, I want you guys to know we're not financial advisors, right? We're not here to be like, hey, buy this, buy that, right? Whatever we tell you today, take note of it, right? And look, do your own research, do your own diligence, right? I was never like every coin that Pat would tell me, I would look into it. I would look at the technology. We actually have a video on like what to actually look for when you're looking into cryptocurrencies. But when it comes down to it, right? When it comes down to it, you got to realize it's 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 really upon you to do the research, right? Yes, we can tell you, all about these coins. Yes, we can do, the intensive research and everything like that. But you need to really go and do that for yourself as well. So everything that we talk about here, do your research. If it's something that you like, invest in it, right? And right now, we're gonna go into the market here in a minute, but I want to let Pat come up market's down, right? Market's down. It's looking good. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to bring up this next individual, someone that has truly helped me in the crypto world. Being in here from 2017 all the way to now, you can only imagine the bear runs that he had to go through. You only had to imagine the drawdowns that he had to go through. But he understood the long term mindset, right? He understood the long term mindset of, hey, even if it's bear, right? Even if it's bearish, I'm willing to go through this because look at Bitcoin all the way back from 2017 to now. That should explain honestly everything to you, right? So without further ado, guys, I'm gonna pass it over to greatness. I'm gonna pass it over to my cousin, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Pat Kremen. Go ahead and take it over, man.
Hey guys, um, thanks for that warm welcome, Jonah. Every time you make it sound lovely. Um, all right, guys. So for today, we're going to touch base a little bit on the market, like usual. We'll probably only go over a couple tokens, and then we'll do a little Q&A. Once again, at any time, go ahead and pop up some questions in them comments, and we can knock them out as we see them. Once again, we're not financial advisors. This is all about experiences. We're just sharing with you. Like he said, I've been doing this since 2017. And from there, it's been a fun ride. When you look at charts, especially with these cryptos, you're going to see a lot of up and down. They're not like your standard market. And that's going to be expected. So that's cool with what you're seeing now with the market going down a little bit. What we like to say with the crypto world, just going to zoom out a little bit. Take it out from the 1 week, the 1 month. Look at the year. Like Jeremy said, go ahead and look at that chart on Bitcoin from 2017 to now. Even at its lowest point pretty much this year, it's still at a gain from 2017. So it's like, yeah, you could have cashed out at bigger times, and that's where you can take your profits. But if you zoom out and it's a decent project, most of them things just steadily go up overall. And that's the cool thing with this. And like I've been saying, like right now is the time when I'm trying to acquire as much as I can while that market is down. Because if it's anything like it was in 17, when it goes up super fast. So now's when now's when I'm stacking as much as I possibly can. That way, once it does make its run, I can try to take some profits out on this. So a couple things in the news. All right, so like once again, we've been talking about like El Salvador. I think that all goes. What they're going to do is their president's like really, really pushing this. They're actually going to airdrop a ton of Bitcoin. Like it's only $30 right now, but they're going to do $30 in Bitcoin basically for their citizens, I guess that download their wallet and all, which is good because that'll get this market really moving. And like I was saying last week, once a country adapts this, it's going to be great because all big businesses in that country, all national, like they're going to have to start accepting Bitcoin. Walmart, any common stores, like if they have 7-Elevens, all that stuff. So once they start with that, they're not going to stop. You know what I mean? Like Walmart's going to try to get as much money as they can. Amazon's going to take as much money as they can. And if they have to accept it in one country, why wouldn't they accept it in others? You know what I mean? At that point, it doesn't necessarily need to be a legal tender in that country. I would think if Amazon accepts Bitcoin and we have Bitcoin, once they start accepting it, we could just send it right to them. I wouldn't be doing that. I'm going to be doing my cash because the cash value keeps going down. Meanwhile, the Bitcoin keeps going up. So I'm going to hold my Bitcoin and keep getting rid of this paper money while I can. That's my goal with this. A couple other things this week that's come up. If you have been in cryptos, like you've heard about like John McAfee, he was always like, he was a big proponent on cryptos. He backed it. He was a believer in it. He ended up dying or supposedly committed suicide. That's a whole nother story. He's got videos saying that he would never do that. He's even got a tattoo on his body saying if it happens, it wasn't him. But that just like goes to show you like, so he probably has a lot of crypto and who knows where that is. And if anyone has his keys to get them. So that could end up being crypto that is pretty much burned. I was also telling Jonah, so there was a big thing in the news, at least in the crypto world. A company So there was $70 million in Ethereum that was lost. So it wasn't hacked or anything, but it was lost. So what we've been telling you, and like what we're going to review again once we actually get to the point where we do our giveaway with that wallet. But we keep reiterating, make sure you keep your keys to your wallets. Super, super, super important. Okay. So supposedly what happened in South Africa, two brothers had, I don't know if it was an exchange or if they were doing what's called like yield farming. I'm not positive on that, how that worked, but a huge company basically put all their money into this exchange, and somehow both parties lost the keys. So they don't know their passwords. Neither party supposedly. Um, like on a couple of the things I was reading, who knows if in South Africa maybe they got hijacked or something like that, and these people could be kidnapped, or who knows the reason why, or if it's like going to come out eventually. But it just goes to show you the importance of keeping those passwords. Like $70 million worth of Ethereum is now potentially burned, gone out of existence because of not doing your due diligence, not taking, like we said, take that piece of paper, write it in, put it in a safe. Do that in a couple spots. Keep your keywords. Do not lose them. I even noticed on Ledger's website, it's a new thing that they're gonna have that they have. And it did seem kind of cool. So like we've been telling you, take it, pen and paper, write it on there. Only downside to that, I guess, if it was a crazy fire or something, you could end up losing it. So what Ledger made, which Ledger's the company we're going to be sending this wallet for, Ledger basically made like a stick. It's like a metal steel stick, and there's a bunch of rings that you slide on it, and every ring is basically letters. And what you're doing is you're putting your password in order on these rings, and it ends up being like the size of a pen, but it's completely made of steel. And that being like fire, nothing could destruct it. So as long as you have that, like your password would always be safe. So that is a pretty cool thing. And I noticed they just put on their site that I might look into. I just don't know exactly how they can send you so many letters. But like we said, never, ever, ever give your keys up, but always make sure you know where your keys are. Because like we said, once you lose them, you cannot access your cryptos. So that being said, let me explain something on that. So with these cryptos, when you have them on an exchange, you own them, but you don't. Like, you don't have the key to the actual wallet that they're in when they're on an exchange. So technically, they're yours, but they're in the exchange. Now, I have stuff on the exchanges, like I still do that with certain exchanges. But that being said, like the only technical way that you actually physically own them in your possession is once you transfer them to a wallet that you have the key to. Any style wallet that has a key, as long as you have it, then it's your crypto. But when it's on the exchanges, it's you paid for it. It's almost like a Robinhood, where Robinhood you paid you give them like you think you're buying cryptos, but you don't own the crypto. Robinhood owns the crypto. When you sell it, they're going to sell it for you and give you your money. I don't believe you can take the cryptos off of Robinhood and put them into your wallet. I don't think they work that way. And that's why also we don't really use Robinhood. We'll go right to the exchanges with these. But it's very important you keep your keys. And like I said, if you want a long-term hold, get yourself a wallet and put your assets in that wallet. I believe we've made a couple videos. I know we did with MetaMask. And we've done with a couple others. We'll have to make, once we get to Ledger, we'll make a really good video on it. But we'll do that with the giveaway all at one time. That way we can go into real good detail with that. But like I said, make sure you never ever lose that. It's fine if you keep stuff on the exchange of like Coinbase and all. But if another thing I was watching was like, for example, so one of the big tokens that I want to talk about today also, Jonah, are you going to share screen or you want me to?
Yeah, I was gonna go over the market real quick, just to briefly touch up on the market. All right, cool, cool, cool. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys and just show you guys, what it is that is going on. Let's start at the basics, right? Um let's start at coin market cap, right? Let's start at coin market cap real quick. Cool. So, with coin market cap, right, you can look up, what the market's doing right now. You can look at and see what's going on in the market, and everything like that. Now on CoinGecko, it's the same thing. So you can either use Coinbase or Coin Market Cap, or you can use CoinGecko. Either or is just as good. They're both pretty good. We use both of them. But on coin market cap, as you guys can see up here, it'll just basically give you the overview of the market at the top left. Right now it's sitting, 10,000, over 10,000 coins. Right now the market cap is sitting at about 1.3 trillion. This market has been around between like 1.7 and 1.3 for the last couple of weeks. I'll say it, I'll say it again, like I say all the time. Anytime you have a big market move up or down, right, there's always going to be some type of consolidation, right? And it's going to turn into either distribution or accumulation. Now, I'm not going to go deep into that right now. I just want to briefly touch up on this. But right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that if you've ever seen the accumulation phase, I believe we are in accumulation phase C, going into D very, very soon. Um, but sitting at 1.3 trillion right now, of course, Bitcoin is owning 46% of the market. So anytime that, Bitcoin makes a big move up or a big move down, everything else is going to follow. Ethereum, Cardano, any other altcoins or anything but Bitcoin, everything else is going to follow Bitcoin, right? So when, you hear, oh my gosh, Dogecoin to the moon, this, that, and the third to the moon, well, you got to see Bitcoin go to the moon in order for those to go to the moon, right? Because 46%, over 46%, right, is owned by Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin basically moves the market, right? So whatever Bitcoin does, that follows, right? That follows. So with that understanding, right, gas fees are starting to go back up on Ethereum. So if you're buying any Ethereum projects right now, you will want to, buy a little bit more. If you buy like $50 worth, it might not be really worth it. You might want to buy a bigger bulk, maybe a couple $100 worth, maybe a couple thousand worth, in order to actually make it worth. Because the more you buy, the fee doesn't really mean anything. But if you're buying, a couple coins and the fee matches the coins, it's almost not even worth it, right? It's almost not even worth it. So with that understanding, guys, I'm gonna go ahead real quick. And share my screen. I'm gonna stop share my screen. Go to our charts. Cool, cool, cool. Perfect. I'm gonna go to our charts now. Like I said, we are consolidating, right? We are consolidating. In our last stream or our last video that I made, was um, we were talking about if Bitcoin breaks, I think it was 33,000, right? We were looking for that 33,000 mark. It actually came all the way up, right? Came all the way up to about 35,000, a little bit over 35,000, right? Now that was good, right? We wanted to see above 33,000 in order to, move up to our next point of interest right around 36,000, right? So right now, in order for us to get back up to 40, we're going to want to see that 36,000 mark be broken, right? We want to see that 33,000 mark be broken in order for us to see that 40,000. Now, if it breaks 40,000, I believe we're going to be back in our bull run, back cracking back up to its highest around 60, 62, 64K. All right. So we want to see a break of 40K to really give us that extra confirmation that the market's going to move up. Now, me personally, it looks really good right now for, potential buy opportunities. Because like I said, it broke that 33 resistance level, and now it a support level. It broke back down to like 32,000. And I think, right now, if you're gonna, really, if you have some money I do believe it's a great investment to, start putting in some money into the market. Again, excuse me, we are not financial advisors. I'm just giving you guys my opinion. That's upon you if you want to take it or leave it. But again, we want to see this break the 40K level. Once it breaks the 40K level, we'll probably see it push up to like 44, 45,000, then push back down to about 40,000. That if it breaks that 40,000 is gonna stay it's gonna stay a support level, right? So we want to see the break of 40,000, a close on a daily, right? We want to see a close on a daily, right? Because I was saying before, right? If we see it close below 29,000, we're probably gonna start moving down to our 25K level. But it wicked around 28,900, right? It wicked it, meaning it went down there and came up very, very fast, right? It made a very fast movement and a pullback all the way back up to 30,000 plus, very quickly from 28.9 to 30K, very, very fast, right? It was like 2 hours, right? So with that understanding, I think right now is a great time, like Pat said, to start investing right now. I really wouldn't focus too much on throwing all your eggs in one basket. I'm a person that likes to evaluate first and then react off the market. I don't like guessing. I mean, of course, you're never gonna find the perfect trade, but if you can get extra confirmations to signify, okay, I'm gonna start buying this, right? Then it just gives you a little bit more confidence in actually the investment. Now, of course, do your research on any coin that you invest in, right? Before you just invest into it, but understand everything else is going to follow Bitcoin. But again, if you guys like this stream so far and you guys are loving what you're hearing, go ahead and smash that like button. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. But other than that, I'm actually going to pass it back over to Pat. Go ahead and take it over, man.
Screen up, just pull up, let's just go into one of the, like, a token real quick to talk about. We've talked about and touch base on this one real quick. It's going to be brief, we're not going to go into depth, but just to show them like potential gains. Go over to ICP. So what I'm going to have him pull up is basically going to be its internet computer. That's another project been looking into a little bit more. That's the new one we were talking about. It's only been out for a little bit now. At least it's been on the main exchanges for a little bit. It's been in the works for a while. This is supposedly like going to replace the internet, or that's the theory behind it. And there's some big names. Like, I was checking into, like, if you've been looking into like the company outside of actual like cryptos. So I definitely, my majority of my stuff is into cryptocurrencies. But then if I was looking outside of cryptos, I look into the companies that are buying these, like your MicroStrategy, stuff like that. Because not everybody always wants to invest necessarily. It's a lot. If you don't know if you're not very tech savvy and stuff like that, getting on these exchanges, all that, it's not the easiest, especially for like some people in the older generation that just don't feel like dealing with it. They'd much rather like call, a broker and have them handle it. So that's one way you can always invest in Bitcoin in them, is like you can go to MicroStrategy, you can go to Grayscale and invest in like those kind of companies. And that's another way that we look for other tokens. So you gotta like think outside the box sometimes. So not just look into like partnerships and all that, but now what companies are the big players outside of the crypto world, because they know they can't until the United States, until it becomes global. They're going to take the safest bet for their customers, where their insurance is there and everything. So they can sit there, and basically what they do is they purchase Bitcoin, they purchase Ethereum, and you can buy shares into their company. So that's another way, like, you don't own the Bitcoin, you don't own the Ethereum, they own it, you just are buying into their company. I prefer to do what they're doing and just buy my own. That being said, outside of the crypto world, that's not that bad of a way to possibly invest also. And when I'm looking into them, like, so my Grayscale, that's one of the companies that they're looking in. So internet computer is very interesting just because when it came on all the big exchanges at one time. That's very rare that happens. Um, and it came out hot. I mean, it came out at almost $600 maybe when it came out. I'm
It
not
was
sure
like
the exact open, but it was way up there.
it was like six or
It
seven
even
hundred.
reached what's that?
It was like 6 or 700. It was up there, and it listed so quick on almost every single exchange.
Yeah. So what's cool with that token is right now, especially since it's new and we're in this bear market and the market's going downward a little bit, that token is now $30, $32, somewhere floating right around that in the past 2 days. And then I started like, all right, is it just a project that's just right off this? Why did it go down? You know what I mean? Like, but then the entire market kind of went down on the same average. This being much newer, people probably right away, if they could, took some of their, before they took a big loss, they might have dropped because it did jump up and down in the very beginning. So I'm sure people took some profits. But then I noticed that Grayscale, so like they're talking about purchasing into more cryptos, and that's one of the ones that they were talking about. And like I said, so like that's another like bell that I'm like, okay, if they're just gonna go after this, let me look a little bit deeper. And then just the fact that like you have the potential of, so this came in when the market was pretty much in a bear stage. So this has not seen a bull market. The same thing what we've been kind of telling you about XRP, like Ripple, like that hasn't seen the bull market yet. So majority of tokens, when they see a bull market, they go at least 5 to 10x. I mean, that's just what I've noticed on the successful projects, especially like back in 17, 18. This thing, just to get back to where it was when it popped out,
It's like
you're
an
almost at
18x. It's like an 18x right there.
yeah, it's between a 15 and a 20x, but we're not even counting it didn't have its opportunity to do its 5 or 10x. And that's like the kind of thing that it's hard to believe because like in standard stock and stuff, you do not see that kind of stuff happen. It will happen like I'm sure every day there's a stock that goes crazy and stuff. But when there's a bull run in the crypto game, pretty much you can like put a blindfold on, purchase something, and the next day it's probably going to be up. Like that's just when it runs, it runs. And that being said, the successful projects, they really like if everything else is doing a 5x, they get 10, 20x's. So if you can buy this thing at $30 or 30, even $35, and it went back to say 700, you're already at a 20x. But then take that 700 and put that at a 5x. So let that do what everything else is doing, right? That'd be like, because there's Bitcoin, they're projecting will go over 6 figures on the next run. So just put a 5x from where that was, and you're sitting between 3,000 and 3,500. That is a massive, massive, massive gain on a $31 purchase. And what's cool about this is, like we said, it popped up on everywhere all at once. So, like, if you're on any of the exchanges we told you to get on, or if you're not, we're going to put the link up that you guys can join Coinbase. You'll even get $10 free once you buy $10 worth of crypto. We can put a link up for that, our Binance, but you can obtain it on any of those, which is great. And that's one, like I said, I've been like looking into more, and I'm like slowly just getting a couple of them here and there, hoping this thing, if it does what, like I said, if it does what normally happens in this crypto game, that coin should be in the thousands. Especially when you look at it with like where the market cap should be, how many tokens are available. So that's one project I would suggest looking into. The other thing that's big with this, like why it could be so successful, is this. So, like with cryptos right now, the beauty with cryptos is they're supposed to be so. I forget who I even watched this, or I would even put the guy out there. But basically, like, so what I was, and this is so true. Cryptos are decentralized, right? They say, well, supposedly, which means there's no majority owner, like. Nobody owns more than like 50%, which is the beauty of this. But like they brought up a big point. If say all these internet providers, like you know what I mean, decided to not allow cryptos to be sold on their platforms, we really wouldn't have nowhere to go. You could still go to like the Bitcoin ATM, stuff like that. But it would make it way harder to do what we're doing right now. The beauty with this is it's going to be a decentralized internet. So it'll be an entirely new internet that will be decentralized, that can't be shut down. It's ran by everyone, by the network. And that's kind of what's needed because as you can see, like with everything, I mean, you can look at like Facebook, Google, if at a push of a button, Twitter, they can remove your account. They can kind of make sure you only see certain things if they want you to see. Like they have algorithms for everything, and it's messed up because you're not actually you're not getting what you should get. You know what I mean? You're getting what they want you to see. When it comes to ads and all, sometimes that's helpful, but it also can be a pain. An internet that's completely not ran by somebody, that'll be a lot nicer. You know what I mean? You'll be able to do what you want to do with it. And this project, like I said, it's the guy that's in it. He's been in cryptos, the one that invented it since 2014. So he has been in it for a while. He started this project, I believe, in 2017, and it just like took off. Huge when it had its initial coin offering. It did great, multi millions. I want to say over 100 million. And now it's what's it sitting at rank wise? Is that top what? Is it 20? Where are we sitting on
Yeah, that's at
this?
25 right now.
And it's a top 25. Like there's projects that we've been calling out that are still in the thousands. This is like top 100's the ones that are usually a little more safe to put your money into. At least that's what I've seen. And they usually stick around a little bit longer. If you look into like the history of the majority of the top 100, they've been around for a while, or they're one of the newest projects that are like a major player in the game. So for this technology and these investors being behind it and stuff like that, that's when I'm going to start acquiring. ICP, that's going to be like, I'll say for today, that'll be our token that we're going to acquire, our asset. And that's one I would look into if I were you. Because like I said, just getting back to its normal, you're talking a 15 to 20% gain. If it goes where it should, you're talking huge gains, 20 to 100x. And that's what we're hoping for. We'll pull off a few of these and we can all make a couple dollars off this thing. And that's what's fun. That's what this is all about. Plus seeing the world just change. This is a global thing. This is changing everything. All right, what do you want to touch base on next?
Yeah, so real quick, I wanna bring this back. Let me go ahead and stop sharing real quick, but I want to bring this back to um I want to bring this back to basically everything that we're talking about when it comes to when it comes to cryptos, right? Because a lot of people might have that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? You might have that fear, uncertainty, and doubt that, oh my gosh, the market dropped so much, right? But if you look back, right, when back in, I think it was 2017 to 2019, Bitcoin went from almost $20,000 back to $3,000. That's over an 85% drop, right? The drop only that just currently happened within the last 2 months, 3 months, has only been 60%, right? So when it gets back to it, I just want to wrap everything that we're talking about with Bitcoin and prices being low. It comes down to understanding the long-term effect of cryptocurrency, right? Look at price, like I said, when Bitcoin first started, starting at cents all the way up to 64K, right? It has to make that drop. It's been making these drops. When you hear people say, "Oh my gosh, crypto's going to zero," it's just not possible, right? It's not possible. The reason why this fear, uncertainty, and doubt comes about is from the media, right? It's from the system, right? We already understand as investors, as entrepreneurs, that it's we know that they're pushing this system on people, right? and they don't want us to become rich. They don't want us to become wealthy. They don't want us to create extra streams of income. They want you to go to work. That's just how it is. There's nothing wrong with working a job, but Warren Buffett said it best. There's something wrong with only working a job. Right. So with that understanding, right, we got to bring this back to, okay, yes, it dropped big, but okay, how big was the drop? Should we invest more? Should we, maybe look into different projects that are going to go ahead and benefit us long term? And that's where, that one video comes into play, where you can learn about, what is it that you need to be looking for when it comes to cryptocurrency. So yes, people can look into the cryptocurrencies, they can look into these different things, but is it really going to benefit the economy long term? Is it something that's going to be very great down the line for the economy as a whole? So that's just something I wanted to put out there real quick. But while we're here, right, we're here. One thing that I really want to touch up on, is staking, right? Because this all flows into staking and maybe having that long term passive income. Just want to briefly touch up on it. We're actually going to be making a video on it, so we're not going to really do too much. But there's like two types, I guess you would say, two types of staking, right? There's proof of, hold up, I wrote it down. Give me 2 seconds. There's proof of stake, right? There's proof of stake, and then there's proof of work, right? Now you must know the difference. Yeah,
There, so what you're saying is like, before you get too far, so proof of stake is actually staking. Proof of work is mining,
exactly.
right?
Yep.
So
Yep, yep,
just
yep.
so you guys know, it's completely different. So he'll go into a little bit of what each one is, and then I'll give him a little feedback on also what it is, because I just started getting into this one.
Yep, yep, yep. So I actually, just really started diving deep because I've heard about staking and, doing these different things, but I really wanted to dive deep in and kind of understand what this was, right? And what I found was the two types of ways that you can, create that passive income is mining, proof of work, proof of staking, right? Proof of work is, you have computers. Back in the day, you could use smaller computers to do this, but now you need very big, large computers in order to do this. It takes a lot of energy, right? It does take a good amount of energy. There are, places like China that just banned it, right? I'm not really sure why. I'm sure it has something to do with like the energy behind it, how much energy it uses. I don't really know. Don't quote me on that, but just basically understanding that you're mining, or you're basically solving problems in the blockchain, and you get rewarded through that crypto that you're mining, right? And then you got proof of stake, right? Proof of stake basically means you're known as, you have validators, right? And there's a couple ways that you can stake. You can be a validator and you can do the actual staking, or you can have a validator, right? And you can give them the coin to stake, meaning you're basically putting up your coin, your asset, up to contribute to the network, right? So the network runs great, the network runs good, and they all kind of come together, right? So you can do that. That's more so the way that we're probably going to be showing you guys, is more so having a validator. You're more so giving your assets, you're locking in your assets for maybe a certain period of time. There's two ways, right? There's two ways, just going into it a tiny bit, right? There's two ways, right, that you can do this. Um, Basically through a couple things. It's called consensus mechanism, right? Consensus mechanism, right? And basically there's a couple there's a couple ways, right, that you can get a bigger percentage on your gain. So think about it like a savings account, right? If you have a bank account, you have a savings account, you're going to get maybe 0.05%, right? You're going to get 0.05% tops, right? That's not a lot, right? But depending on how much money you put into the stake, meaning how much money of that crypto you put up to lock in to contribute to the market, depending on how long you lock in your assets, right, will determine how much percentage you will get, right? Now, there's many, many, many different platforms that you can stake. We're not really going to get into that. I just want to briefly touch up on it real quick because we're actually going to make another video. We're diving deeper into that um, just that specific topic. But just understanding, right? There's many platforms that you can do this where you have a validator where you put up your assets, you lock it in, you lock up a certain amount of coins, a certain amount of income for X amount of time, and you get back a certain percentage per month, per year. Usually it's APY, meaning per year. Um, so it's more so the long term game. If you're an individual that likes to more so like not really trade, right? You're more so a hodler, right? You like to hold your coins, but maybe the bear market might not be giving you the right gains, or might not be giving you the success that you want right now. Understand, of course, it's a long term game, but there is a way that you can earn passive income inside of cryptocurrency, and that's through staking, right? Having those validates, putting up your stake for X amount of time, X amount of money. Right. So that's all I really wanted to talk about real quick. Just touch back on. If anybody has any questions on that, please drop that in the chat. Most likely those questions will probably be answered on our next video that we're going to be making. But if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you understand what we're saying and you guys are, kind of following with us, again, go smash that like button. Go ahead and send this out to somebody because I really want to share this information out to people that don't really understand this information when they're coming into the crypto world. But I'm gonna pass it off to Pat. He said he had some things that he wanted to share with you guys, or maybe ask questions. We can go back and forth, however you want to do that. But go ahead and take it away.
All right. Yeah. So also another thing with the staking, like he was saying, you can basically mine. Mining is having computers solve the issues. But as you hear, like the big issue with that is the environment. And eventually, majority of tokens will be mined anyway. Like Bitcoin will be mined out. It's a long time from now, but that's how mining is. The computer is basically how they are solving and validating the transactions. That's all we're doing when we're staking or mining. You're a validator. You're same thing as when you swipe a card. The credit card company validates it. There is no credit card company. We're the credit card company, so we're basically you're getting paid to basically help validate. And staking is going to get a lot bigger. Like Ethereum was a mining, now it's going into proof of stake. And like he said, all different percentage rates you can get really good. And then there's even a crazier one. It's called yield farming, and those percentages can get even higher. They're a little higher risk. I'm going to look more into them. And what that basically is, so like he said, with staking, you're just putting up a token. So for example, if you wanted to stake Ethereum, you can stake Ethereum, and you would get paid. Most of them pay every day. Like I started staking one of my tokens like a month ago just to test it out with a few of them. So I put like 1,000 in tokens in this one exchange, and basically it pays me a quarter of a token or a third of one every day. So every 3 days I have a brand new one in my account, and I'm gaining interest on both, on the new ones coming in and the ones I already had. But then you have this thing called yield farming. So what that is like on these swaps and all, basically when you go to purchase a token, you have to purchase it with something. You have to purchase with either like Bitcoin, Ethereum. So for example, how we were talking about, let's say a tougher one, like Poker Cover, the one we talked about, CVR. So if you wanted to, you could basically yield farm. So what I believe the way that works is like majority of that's going to be purchased with Ethereum. So now you're going to basically put up X amount of Ethereum to the exact amount of whatever asset you want to put in the pool. So say I had $1,000 in Poker Cover. I could put up $1,000 in Poker Cover, $1,000 in Ethereum, and basically I'm adding liquidity to that pool. So like what you'll see is what I mean by like liquidity is how these tokens are purchased. So you'll see like different pairs: Bitcoin, Poker Cover, Ethereum, Poker Cover. You got to do your research. You're putting into whatever pool you think is going to be the most successful. So for example, like I said, I could put in amount of Ethereum, amount of Poker Cover, And then anytime people are purchasing that exact Ethereum to poker cover, you're going to get paid a percentage for putting in liquidity into that pool. And they say that pays way, way more, but it's way more risky. So I'm going to double check into that. But staking is definitely right now the safer bet. And we are going to make a video on that next. So that will come out. I'm going to hit that probably tomorrow or Sunday. We just finally got in like our microphones and all. So hopefully the audio will be a little bit better. That will be coming in. But yeah, staking is going to be, like he said, like almost the perfect thing if you're planning on holding your stuff, or when this market's moving sideways, you can still make money off of these assets. All right, I don't see any questions. What do you want to touch base on now?
I don't really have too much in mind. I mean, we kind of went into like the market, the mindset of the market, some staking. Is there anything specifically? I know you said you went over ICP. Is there any other coins that you specifically that you're looking at?
What did I grab? I picked up what was it? Jeez, the one we just talked about, Uno. So I went and picked up some Uno. I waited until the gas fees went down a little. I picked up Uno, and I picked up more Chain X. We went over that before, I believe, and I don't know if it was when we were on YouTube yet. Chain X, I believe, is PCX is the call for that. But they're the two I picked up this week was Chain X and Uno. And once again, like he said, you can go check on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, and find out them gas fees. That number that he was showing you up at the top, that's basically, mathematically, you could exactly figure out how much it's going to cost you. So what that is the GWEI, that's that gas fee, that is 1/1 billionth of an Ethereum. So when you see that crazy high number, like 100, something like that, that don't mean it's going to be $100. It will be up there. If you see it at $100, I wouldn't suggest purchasing the assets at that time unless it's something you think is going to pop and the gas fees just aren't going down. Because if they fluctuate all day, every minute they change. And if you check out, like we said, MistX as a swap, they will give you your fees ahead of time, so you will know exactly what you're spending. That is the only swap right now that I know of that does that.
I think
Uh,
MistX is the best one in my opinion. I think MistX is like it's that drill. Like it literally has like it literally tells you the fees. There's no like if you cancel a transaction because other exchanges they will make you pay a fee if you cancel the transaction because maybe the transaction's taking too long or whatever it is, right? They will make you pay a transaction fee. That's just how it is, right? But that doesn't do that for Mistex. So mistex.io, right? Mistex.io is the website you can do it on. You have to make sure whatever browser that you're using, you got to make sure that your MetaMask or whatever it is that you're using, MetaMask, Trust Wallet, whatever, is connected to that actual browser in order to actually get the coin. That's just something I want to put out there real quick.
yeah, and that's another token we talked about was Alchemist. So that calls MIST. Check into that. Alchemist is where MistX runs off of. And that will actually be my first attempt at yield farming. So I am going to do what's called minting a crucible through Alchemist. I'll make a video on that, but I might not just because I'm just learning that one, so I'm not as like knowledgeable on it. But I'm gonna test that. Basically what I'm gonna be doing is putting liquidity to their pool, and I'll see what kind of percentages I get back. Once I do that, I will let you at least know the results. That way we can figure out if it's something we all want to look into more. Or if it's just a little too risky and it might be safer just staking. But I'll this definitely this weekend make the video on staking, and then like I said, the yield farming I'm gonna start this weekend, like actually trying it out. Hopefully by next Friday I'll have I'll be able to like give you guys an idea of how it's working out, at least on my end, or if it was even something I could figure out. but I've watched a lot of videos on this, and I'm pretty sure I'm like ready to try this. I'm always willing to take a risk, and like we've been saying, this is everything's a risk with this. It's the same as the stock market. At any time, all this can fall. Do not put in more money than you're willing to lose at any time. Just know anything can happen. You can lose your money. All right. You can make a fortune, but just don't put yourself in a bad position. That's all I can suggest. Like it's good to I gamble here and there, but like with these cryptos, like I've been saying, like you don't want to. If this thing went to zero, I wouldn't be in that bad of shape. Um, don't rely everything on one thing. Like Jonas said, like it's fine to have a job, just have multiple streams of income, and that's what we're doing here. We're learning to have multiple streams of income. But who knows? We're in this so early, we could all become billionaires off of this stuff very easily. I mean, they pretty much say anybody that was in this in 16, 17, that 5 year gap, if you have a decent amount of money and you're a millionaire now, like that's just the way it goes. It jumps that big, and we're about to hit that next bull run, and you guys are going to be part of it. So I will be very happy to have you guys let us know some of your results and how stuff's going for you. And one thing, actually, I haven't even talked to Jordan about this, but like I want to start maybe, especially like our followers that like watch a lot of our episodes. If any of you want to like message us or something, and maybe like just do like a live Q&A where we can kind of somehow get you in with us and just see what the audience wants to hear from us and like what we're maybe not touching base on. You can definitely do that through comments, but if any of you would want to maybe pop up on here and or maybe you have something to even share with us. But like I said, like I wouldn't mind doing something like that just to see the audiences, how they feel about what we're doing and what we need to touch base on more. You got anything else? I'm pretty much good for the day.
That's really it. I got one more question for you, and we can wrap this up. This question is gonna wrap up. This is for everybody on the stream. This is for you. What do you believe we're in? Do you believe we're in the bull market, or do you believe we're in the bear market?
I definitely think we're in right now. We're in, what do they call this? I want to say this is called the bear trap. So this is where it's like this is where a lot of people are going to get scared and sell out. And this is where the big players look. It's very simple to figure this out. Go look at your micro strategies. Go look at your grayscales. Go look at your big players. And when you keep hearing, we're putting another 500 million, we're putting this amount of money into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, they're not doing it with the intention to lose money. They're doing it because they know this is the great opportunity to get in this game. So don't be scared. Like I feel that right now we're sitting in not necessarily a bear because I think we're going to come out of it. But I think we're in that phase where people are. This is going to test the who's a true believer in this, and this is where you get rewarded. At least, like I said last time, this is where you get heavily rewarded. You just have to ride this thing out. And now, like we said, this is the time to get the assets. Get as many as you can. This is what we're trying to do in this meantime. Because like I said, when this thing runs, it runs fast. It runs real fast. And that's where you'll be able to take some profits. You just got to be patient with it. There's always ways to make money during the day, stuff like that. But if you want that like crazy return, just have a little bit of patience.
Sheesh, bet. So we heard it from him. I believe that we're in the bull run. I believe we're still. I think, like he said, we're in the bear trap. You're seeing all this. Um, you're seeing all this information about all these different countries looking into adopting. You got El Salvador adopting as a legal tender. You got another country getting ready to, legalize it as a legal tender. Australia's looking at it. Mexico's. I mean, there's so many countries out there. Not even just countries, but also big corporations, big institutions. I mean, Wells Fargo has already dipped his hand in it. J.P. Morgan has already dipped his hand in it. So I mean, just to wipe away all the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Yes, the market's coming down, but all this great news about information of bigger countries, bigger institutions coming into play, and wanting to really push this market up and adopt Bitcoin because they know not only is it going to help the economy, but it's putting the power in the people's hands, how it should be, right? Understand that cryptocurrencies is supposed to be in our hands. That's what puts the economy into our hands and really making this a better place and pushing this economy to be as good as it really can. But without further ado, guys, that is another episode of Crypto Cliff Notes. If you guys believe that we're in the bull run or the bear run, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Go ahead and drop it in the comments when you see this video. I appreciate you guys for tapping in and listening to this information. Yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We have that giveaway. Check the details below. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys at the top because you guys know the rest. The bottom is way too damn crowded. Much love, family.